Kumusta guys? Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is staying safe at home. Today I will be talking about my experiences working in the call center industry and also my experiences as a customer of the call center here in the United States. First, I'm gonna tell you about my story, my call center story. I was a call center agent back in 2007 in the Philippines, in Cebu. I was an undergraduate at that time. I was a bad girl. So anyway, I had a baby already, so I figured I would stop going to school and start working. And I really wanted to work in the call center and industry because back then it was very hyped. Everyone wanted to work in the call center. When you work in the call center, you are considered cool at that time. I'm not sure now. I think you are still considered cool if you work in the call center because first of all, they offer good pay and benefits. Second of all, you work in the office. An office job is always considered social, right? Third, you have to speak in English all the time, so you must be really good in the English language. So of course you are social if you're good in English. So anyway, I wasn't good in English. I still am not. Maybe I'm a bit better with English right now because I live in the United States now, but I definitely am not very good with it, especially with my pronunciation. Anyway, I applied in a lot of call centers. I did not really get hired right away. I've had to try so many times before I landed a job in the call center, and it was the biggest company that actually hired me. I never wanted to apply there because first of all, they are the biggest company at that time, and I thought that I wouldn't have a chance because if the smaller companies will not hire me, why would they, right? And so that's what I thought. But then I tried anyway, and I told myself that this will be my last try. If I don't get hired, I know that call center is not for me. I tried it, and the HR told me that I sounded monotonous, but she will let me through because she can sense that I have some skills. I don't know if that was true, but I think that they just needed a lot more people at that time. So she let me through. She told me to go to the main site so that I can take my online exams, a couple of online exams, and then if I pass, I can do the final exam. The final interview. So I went and took my exams and I passed with flying colors. I did not have any problems with all those question and answer examinations over the internet or on the computer. My problem was really the speaking. I'm not very good in speaking. So nervously, I went for my final interview, but I also kept in mind what the HR told me, that I sounded monotonous. So this time I sounded more bubbly and more alive, and I passed. So I went for my training. When I went for my training, I found out I was with this batch of people that are just, they were from really good, reputable and social schools, while I was from a public college. Prior to that, I was in a public high school. Prior to my public high school, I went to another high school that was for all girls high school, which was a private school, but I also felt so out of place. People are so shy, and I'm an ordinary girl. I relate more to ordinary people. I think I was just someone who didn't care about my appearance, didn't care about how I smelled. When I was in my first year in high school, my classmates were already worrying about their boyfriends, and I was still very childish. Anyway, so I was surrounded, when I went to training, I was surrounded with all these people, really smart people, and I felt out of place because I felt so intimidated. There are a lot of times that we do some activities, training activities, and I get scolded by my by my trainer because I did not get the instructions. There were a lot of times actually everyone else got it, but I didn't. So fast forward to being on the floor. So I passed my training, and on my first day on the floor, I cried. I have a bad hearing. First of all, it didn't help that the connection was very static. I can barely understand the customer, first of all. And then there's an accent too. Sometimes there's an accent, sometimes they just talk too fast for me. And it was my first time to talk to a native English speaker. It's different when you're talking English with a Filipino in your accent, in your own accent, and then you talk to customers. And on top of that, you talk to an angry customer. So my first call on my first day on the floor was tough. I cried. The customer had to ask for a supervisor, and my supervisor had to tell her that I was new, and she got even mad because why would they put a new person on the phone? So I said, I don't know if I can survive this night, but I had to. So I stayed and I worked, but it didn't get any better for me. Actually, it never did. First of all, I'm a very sensitive person. I take everything personally. I realized that the call center is not for me. You have to be strong. You have to be emotionally strong too. I really commend those people that stayed or stays in the call center for a long time. More so to those that climbed the corporate ladder and become a team leader, a QA, or an OM, or a supervisor, because that shit is tough. For me, it's so tough because it was very emotionally and mentally exhausting for me. When you're a sensitive person and you take everything personally and seriously, that you think that they're mad at you, even though they're mad at something else, then it's really gonna take a toll on you. The graveyard shifts also took a toll on my health. I realized that it wasn't for me. So I would take like a few months, I would work a few months and realize this job is not for me. I would leave, and then I take a breather and then realize I miss it. So I go back, work in the call center again, and then I remember how and why I left in the first place. I leave again and take another breather, and then I miss it again. I go back. It was like a toxic relationship. It's a toxic relationship that you just can't leave. But after that, I really realized that it's not for me. If only I can find something that is not exhausting for me. I know call center is very CCO to a lot of people. Not to me. I'm different. Maybe some people can relate, but more people can actually persevere. Me, I can't. I just can't. I tried, but I couldn't. I also became a supervisor in the call center once, mind you. And I did wanted to stay in that company. That was my last call center company. But there was just something wrong. The company that I worked with in the account did not work out, so it didn't work out for me as well and my team. So I moved to a different career. My other career, the online ESL, as an online ESL teacher for Koreans, which was pretty much the same, but at least you're the authority because you're the teacher, right? And you're talking to students. So anyway, sorry if I got sidetracked. So now I'm going to tell you about my experiences as a customer. Now the tables have turned and I'm the one calling customer service. When I became the customer, I now realized why my customers were always frustrated and angry when they call customer service, because it really is very annoying when you call customer service. When you dial, the first thing that's gonna answer you is a answering machine telling you to press 1, make a payment, press 2 to change your address, press 3, so blah 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 blah. There's a lot of numbers you have to press. Sometimes there is no option to talk to a customer service. Sometimes they hide that option and I don't know why. When I was working in the customer service, they told us why customers are angry. First of all, because it takes a long time. They are waiting in a long queue. They're already frustrated with the service, so they get even more frustrated that they are not able to talk to customers right away. Which is, as a customer service agent, of course you understand that could be frustrating. But when you are the customer and you have hands-on experience on this, you really experience this in real life, it is more frustrating to be on that side of the line, you know. So yeah, I've had a lot of times, I've experienced a lot of times wherein I'm just so pissed off I couldn't talk to someone. All I want is to talk to someone. I don't need to do anything else. I just want to talk to a person, because it's easier to explain what you need when you talk to a person. That's one of the reasons why a customer is pissed off. The next thing that pisses customer off is after you go through all that press 1, press 2, blah 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 answering machine, then you go in the queue and you wait, and it tells you the waiting time is 2 hours or 3 hours or an hour or 50 minutes. And that's even more frustrating, because here in the United States, everyone has something to do. They are always busy. They make good use of their time. They can't be on the phone all the time. The life here is very fast paced. If they want to talk to a customer service, the only time they would have usually is on the weekends. And usually, if you're not a network provider, if it's a government entity, or if it's IRS or something, they only accept calls during the weekdays and no weekends. So that's frustrating. You go through the answering machines and press buttons, and then you have to wait on the queue for like a very long time, especially when they are very busy. And then after that, you get a person, yay! And then you tell your issues on how frustrated you are. You tell your problems, and then the customer says, oh, this is not the department that takes care of that. I'm going to transfer you over to another department. NANI? You get transferred to another person. You have to wait for another amount of time, and then this other person answers, and then you have to repeat yourself all over again. So it's frustrating, especially when you have to get moved or transferred 3 times and you have to repeat over and over and over. It sucks. And then you get a customer service agent like me that has a problem in hearing, so you have to repeat yourself even more. I understand that is very frustrating, right? So that's one of the reasons why they are really angry, or they are irritated when they talk to you. And second of all, customer service is really big here in the United States. The customer is always right. Everyone wants your service. They take care of their customer very extra, not like us in the Philippines. We should learn from the customer service here in the United States. Customer is always right, and you have to believe your customers. I used to doubt my customer if they're being truthful, but then I realized when I was here, you should believe your customer, even if you doubt the customer, as long as they are not asking for something outrageous, something that is too much. And then this is my other experience. As a Filipino calling customer service, when someone answers the phone, I can usually tell that it's a Filipino answering my call. Of course, first with the accent, and even though there's no accent, you know there's the distinct Filipino sound, and you will know, you will have this instinct. But usually when I call customer service, it's usually a Filipino that answers, and that tells me how big the call center industry is in the Philippines, because I'm mostly routed to the Philippines. So every time I talk to a Filipino, or I know that it's a Filipino, I'm always tempted to ask, are you Filipino? Are you from the Philippines? Or where are you from? I ask sometimes. Sometimes I just say, where are you from? Just, to give that nervousness. Because a long time ago when someone asked me where I'm from, I feel like, oh, they noticed my accent. Oh, I shouldn't say I'm from the Philippines. Then I get mad. But I still say I'm from the Philippines. And they would tell me, yeah, I'm from the Philippines. The call is in Manila right now. Is routed in Manila right now. Something like that. I would tell them, oh, really? Because I'm a Filipino. How are you? Kumusta? Kumusta ang Pilipinas? Or something like that. It's really, really cool. It's really nice to be able to talk to fellow Filipinos. It makes me feel nostalgic. It reminds me of what I used to do, and so I'm extra nice when I talk to the phone when it's a Filipino on the other side of the phone, of the line, the other side of the line, because I know what they're going through. I've been through that. I always imagine myself in that position. I want the other person, I wanted the customer to be nicer to me. So I am the nice customer if I'm talking to you. But that's just it. Those are all my experience being a customer service agent and then being the one calling customer service. So how about you? What are your experiences as a customer service agent? And what are your experiences as a customer calling the customer service in the Philippines? If you are like me, who came from the call center industry and then came to the United States and became a customer, please share your thoughts, share your experiences. I would really love to know. I want to know if it's not just me who feels things that I felt. And I also want to applaud all the customer service agents in the Philippines. It's not easy to talk to customers like the whole shift, especially if 90% of the time it's angry customers. I really commend you guys. Kudos to you. You are very strong mentally and emotionally. I'm not. I wish that I was. I wish that I am. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. See you on my next video. Bye.